We are now down to the final 4 superstars in the CAW World Championship Tournament. The semifinals are set as Bo Williams faces BigBad Brad and Mr. Nice Guy takes on Azrael. The 2 winners of tonight's semifinal matches will advance on to the finals, where they have the opportunity to become the first ever CAW World Champion. World Championship Tournament semifinals up next. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 3 of our Smackdown vs. Raw 2007 GM mode, where every single wrestler involved is a created wrestler. Again, we are on the Smackdown brand, and here are our top 5 guys. We've got Mr. Nice Guy with a 23 popularity. He's our most popular guy, but also the guy with the least overall. He's been getting pretty lucky these past few weeks, pulling up some upsets in this World Championship Tournament. We have Blake Austin, who lost his match on the first episode, but he's been doing really good outside of the tournament, building himself up in his rivalry with Chris Classic. We have Azrael as our number 3 guy. He is also in the semifinals of this World Championship Tournament. Bo Williams, the number 1 seed, is also in the semifinals. And then we have BigBad Brad, who will be facing Bo Williams in the semifinals. BigBad Brad defeated Blake Austin in week 1, and honestly, this is going to be a great tournament here. So let's get right over to some rivalries. Again, we have Chris Classic versus Austin here as our rivalry from last week that we started up. They had a parking lot brawl after Classic had a match. So, you know, Chris Classic, his fatigue is pretty high up here today. And then we have a new storyline that's going to start up between Spade and Jones. So Cowboy Billy Spade and, you know, Jones are going to go after it here. So let's see what happens here in this next episode. All right, so we are going to go into this first match here on episode 3 here. We're starting off with a tag team match. So again, we saw Billy Spade and Bruiser Jones were in a rivalry of betrayal. How will their rivalry start off? They are as a team. Are they going to win a tag team match, or are they going to lose? They're facing Kyle Ryder and Jamal Curry, 2 other really great stars on this roster, trying to break out. I think all 4 of these guys trying to create some separation from the other guys in order to get some championships, in order to get, you know, some good recognition early on in the series. But here we go. Billy Spade, Bruiser Jones, Kyle Ryder, Jamal Curry. Simulate. And boom, Kyle Ryder, Jamal Curry end up beating Billy Spade and Bruiser Jones. And then afterwards, I guess what happens is Bruiser Jones or Billy Spade, one of them did not see eye to eye, and now they're fighting until the first blood. Let's see who wins this match right after they folded in their tag team match. Bruiser Jones, Billy Spade. Billy Spade actually got upset pretty bad in that tournament. They both lost, I think, Mr. Nice Guy. And Bruiser Jones with a huge match. I think his best match is a first blood match. This guy likes to bruise people. This guy likes to beat people up. He's picking up some separation. I believe this is his 2nd win in a row. Billy Spade, you got a tough one right here. Now we've got Blake Austin, Hollywood Blake Austin versus Delano Anderson. And we have Chris Classic. He's going to be in support of Delano Anderson, who lost in the quarterfinals to Azrael in the World Championship Tournament. But he gets a good matchup against Blake Austin. We'll see how this turns out. Again, Chris Classic, he got beat up after his match, his triple threat match last week. Blake Austin took it to him. Classic, his fatigue is pretty damn high, but he still wants to be out there, pose a little bit of a threat to Blake Austin. Let's see what happens here, guys. And Blake Austin with another huge victory. This is going to really get Chris Classic. All right, really going to get Chris Classic because this is like his 3rd loss in a row. Blake Austin, 2nd, 3rd win in a row, something like that. So this is going to really help boost him up as well. We'll see how this rivalry comes out. Chris Classic might be a little mad losing 3 in a row, but that's not my fault. He's the one that needs to start winning. All right, now we have our singles match. This is a semi-finals match. We have Azrael, the number 2 seed, who absolutely dominated Delano Anderson last week in the quarterfinals, and then he is facing Mr. Nice Guy, the number 1 popular guy in this entire series so far, and the guy that has been making upset after upset. This will be the biggest upset so far of this entire series if he can come out over Azrael. But like I said earlier in this series, if you're on a winning streak, that momentum, it can carry over, and big things, crazy things can happen. So let's see, is Azrael safe from this simulation, or will Mr. Nice Guy pull off a third upset? Let's see. This is for the finals. And Mr. Nice Guy takes over and beats Azrael. I don't know how that happened. I was not expecting Mr. Nice Guy to win this, but he has somehow found his way into the World Championship match. Huge win for Mr. Nice Guy. All right, and now we are at the main event, the other semifinals match. We have two absolute dogs. The number 1 seed, Bo Williams, will be facing off against Big Bad Brad, who had a huge win over the very, very hot Hollywood Blake Austin. Can Big Bad Brad take out the number 1 seed as well and find himself facing Mr. Good Guy or Mr. Nice Guy in the finals? Or will Bo Williams stay true to his number 1 seed and find himself fighting for the World Championship? Main event time, semifinals. Let's go. All right, this is for a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Big Bad Brad, Bo Williams. Main event. And Big Bad Brad goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. He's done it. He's upset the number 1 seed. And Big Bad Brad with another impressive victory, this time over the number 1 seeded Bo Williams. That was incredible. Incredible. And he did this in dominant fashion. He has Mr. Nice Guy in the finals next week. We'll see what happens there because Mr. Nice Guy has been on such a Cinderella run. Who will be our world champion? That was an awesome main event. Again, dominant showing from Big Bad Brad. I was not expecting him to dominate that well, especially Bo Williams being the number 1 rated guy in this entire series right now. But Big Bad Brad is just showing that overalls really don't mean anything. It's just a matter of showing up when the lights are on you, when you're in the main event, when you got to prove your worth. So again, he earns his way to the finals just like Mr. Nice Guy earned his way to the finals. So upset, 2 guys that are going to throw down for the world title next week. All right, let's see what happened in the news. A new champion. So looking at this here, Ray Ryder is the new Intercontinental Champion there on Raw. I wonder who the champion was before that. Was that Gladiator? Or was that Sasuke even? I have no idea, but Ray Ryder is the new Intercontinental Champion. Awesome for him. Awesome to see that. A highlight. It may not have been the highest rated match of the week, but it sure was one of the better ones. The submission match was announced earlier in the night, and the crowd was instantly aroused with curiosity as to how it would play out. Man, amazing for Super Dude. Super Dude was one of the lower guys too, but I guess apparently he has been doing pretty solid on Raw as well. This week's main event was an exhilarating contest that really showed off the skill. So they're talking about Big Bad Brad and his semifinals match in this World Championship tournament. So awesome to see that. Gladiator, another guy that I kind of just slipped at the draft. I think what happened was I didn't sort it by popularity or overall. When I was doing the draft, after every pick, I kind of went in alphabetical order, so I missed him at the G's, and everybody else with like an A, B, or C name ended up getting that. Here we go. A victory for Zach Frost. So he also is another guy that has been picking up some pretty big wins over there on Raw. So that's awesome to see for those guys there on Raw. Again, Raw wins this year. Once this tournament's over with, I'm going to start playing around with these match types and stuff. I'm going to stop doing the singles matches and stuff. But I wanted to really just find who the best pure wrestler was on this roster before really adding in those stipulation matches. But we're going to start seeing more of those too, just to kind of get the ratings up as well. All right, and let's go ahead and check out our SmackDown card, how it ended up doing. Again, no stars, an absolute horrible show. But it starts out here with Kyle Ryder and Jamal Curry again winning, half star. Bruiser Jones win, half star. Blake Austin's win over Delano and Chris, half star. Mr. Nice Guy over Azrael, huge win, half star. And then Big Bad Brad over Bo Williams, another upset, is a half star. Let's go check out what was going on Raw. They had a pretty good show, one this week as well. Rachel versus Ricky Nash. Zach Frost and Tank over Casey Jackson and Hannah. Casey Jackson is the women's champion, so that's a pretty good win for Zach Ross and Tank. All right. Gladiator. Finally, somebody takes down Sasuke here. And Gladiator, like I was saying, is a pretty tough dude. I really want to see how he does. I think he's a tag team champion. He's got some title or held some title. Super Dude, defeated Dr. Walters. And I believe Dr. Walters is the world champion over there. Or he's one of the top guys. So I'm going to have to look back at all that just to kind of catch up with what is going on over there. But that's a huge win for Super Dude. And then Joel Udo loses the hardcore title to Ray Ryder in the main event. Huge win for Ray Ryder. Again, his brother won the tag team match later on this week on SmackDown, but the Intercontinental Championship is a pretty big deal here. All right, and then if we look back at our roster, let's just look at the top 5 guys. We have Mr. Nice Guy now at a 26 popularity. Blake Austin, again, he got out of the tournament early on and since then has been on a tear. He's up to 24 popularity. Big Bad Brad is at a 23. Kyle Ryder is now at a 21. Azrael, 20. Bruiser Jones, 20. And then so on and so forth over here as well. So looking at our rivalries, this rivalry is not looking too good. We're going to see what we can do to kind of nerf Blake Austin for a little bit, kind of get Chris Classic up. So we'll find some other guys that have lost and add them with Classic to help get that dub. Spade and Jones looks good for this first week. If we look at the fan support, yeah, there's a little bit of separation still, but we're still within 1 million, so there's a lot of time to work with. How far do we let this go until we think that this is all bad? Or is it like already all bad? I have no idea. I do believe that we will be able to flip things over and start taking over Raw as this season progresses. And then lastly, we're going to go ahead and look at this Power 25. So if we look at the top 5 guys in the WWE, we have the Intercontinental Champion Ray Ryder at number 1. Mr. Nice Guy, the lowest rated dude on our roster, is in at number 2. Dr. Walters is the World Tag Team Champ. So he's the Tag Team Champ. Sasuke's the World Champ. And he lost to Gladiator. Wow, that's huge. Gladiator might need a title match. And then we have Blake Austin in at number 5. If we look over at the SmackDown side, again, top 5 guys are in contention of the world title, so they can fight for the title. We have Mr. Nice Guy at number 1, Blake Austin at number 2. They've been the number 1 and 2 for the past couple weeks. Big Bad Brad has put himself at the number 3 spot, Kyle Ryder, and then Bruiser Jones. If we look down even more, Azrael, Jamal Curry, Bo Williams, Delano Anderson, Billy Spade, and then Chris Classic there at the bottom. Looking over at Raw, Ryder, Walters, Sasuke, Zach Frost, Super Dude, Casey Jackson, Tank, and then Gladiator is over at 8. So he's not going to get no world title anytime soon until he starts moving up. But that was a huge win for him over Sasuke earlier this week. But I believe that's all I'm going to show you guys for this episode here. I'll see you guys next time for episode 4, where we will be showcasing the World Championship match. I also might even do a Fatal 4-Way or something like that for the Intercontinental title. So we'll see what's going on with that. We'll check out that card when it comes to it. But I'll see you guys next time. Peace.